Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's talk about Marquez trying to hit on Melody, and let's talk about the Mimosas with Melody event and how Melody was not having any of Marquez's nonsense. I also want to talk about Marsau and Melody because they had a lot of banter in that scene that I absolutely appreciated. So let's really get into it. I personally feel like I love Melody and Marsau together. I enjoy any scene that they're in. The banter is always epic. I feel like we could have had one of those, but Tisha was in attendance at that one, so it just did not give the same way. But any scene that Marsau and Melody are in is always a vibe. So let's talk about it. Now, I know people have been in the comment section going on about how Marsau has all this energy for Melody, but does not have any energy for his wife. I'm just like, honestly, he always looks excited to see Mel every time. His face is always lighting up. Okay. And I think it was interesting when Marquez and Chris and Marsau sat down and we're talking about his family, but also he slipped in some info about Mel. And I feel like that's where it all started off. So I want to talk a little bit about that scene as well. And just tell you guys my little 2 cents in relation to everything. But if you're new to this channel, thank you very much for joining. You're welcome. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And tap that bell button so you know every single time that I post or go live. And yeah, everyone, don't forget to like, share, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Those are free ways to support the channel. If you want to support it a little bit extra, feel free to join the membership as well. I will be doing a lot more membership lives as well. Hopefully this year. You guys know I went live a few times during the Christmas period. I intend to keep that going as well. So make sure you turn on all the notifications so that like every time I go live, because sometimes I'm unable to plan it in advance. But what I'm hoping to be able to do is at least plan 2 lives a week where they are planned lives, and then have like more spontaneous ones whenever I'm free to have a quick like conversation and cut it up with you guys. But anyway, let's get into it. There was a scene where Marquez, Chris, and Marsau had a sit down. Marquez was talking about a little bit about his family and stuff. Here's the thing. Chris was sounding very, receptive and emotional, but in confessional seems to be agreeing with Marsau. And this is the thing. I always feel like you need people that tell you the truth, not people that just stay there and indulge you and let you do all of that. Like, I think there could be a balance where you have empathy, but then tell the truth, especially when it's required. I would have liked to see Chris say some of the things that he really wanted to say instead of saying it to us in the confessionals, in my opinion. Because I think Marquez really needs to hear it. I feel that Marquez spends all of his time being so emotional and not understanding how his actions have consequences and they have an impact on the life that he is now living. I agree with Marsau saying he felt like he could just leave and do whatever and then come back and would always have somewhere to come back to. But Trish moved on, and that's what this whole thing is about. Now, my thing is, when he needed to be focusing on Trish and their business, he decides to deflect and bring up meeting Mel. So he starts smiling, talking about he met Mel, and then Chris jumps in and says, oh, he tried to hit on Mel. And Marquez starts talking about how Mel looks good in person and does. Then asks Marsau if Marta would have an issue if he asks her on a date. And I'm thinking, Marquez, you're still married. You don't have the right to be asking nobody out on a date. You need to chill, sit down, sort out your divorce before trying to date anybody. And let's be clear, if you're trying to date someone, why would you think Melody is on your level to date you? If Ken and Trish are to be believed, you're not even taking care of your children. So why do you think that Melody, who loves children and who takes very good care of her children, would want a man that is not taking care of his children? I just find that very, very odd. I feel like it's a perfect example of people that know that they don't have what it takes to date somebody, but yet they will go out trying to date that sort of person. And then when it ends up that they can't step up, the next thing you hear is, oh, she was a gold digger, all she cared about is money. No, she's an accomplished woman who wants to be with someone who's accomplished and takes care of his family, if I had to guess. She certainly would not want to deal with anyone as emotional as you. Martel is emotional as well, very similar to Marquez. It's just they display it in different ways. Marquez does the whole thing where he tries to garner sympathy from people. So does Martel. They go around trying to collect sympathy like it's golden stones or something from people. So I see a lot of similarities between them. The only difference is Marquez is not as unhinged as Martel Holt, in my opinion. He does not take things as far as Martel does, but I see a lot of similarities. And so that's what happens when you deal with somebody who is overly emotional and has not learned how to master their emotions and control their emotions. If someone's emotions are always controlling them and they don't control their emotions, that is not someone that you should be around. That is someone that is extremely volatile and you need to stay away from. So there is no chance in hell that Melody will leave someone like Martel only to end up with someone like Marquez. Hell to the no. Okay? Now let's fast forward to the Mimosas with Melody event. So Melody is out here talking about her feet hurt, bless her. I was like, oh girl, sorry about that. It be happening when you're all dressed up, you've been walking around saying hi to everybody, and towards the end of it, you're just like, I just need to sit down. And I feel like that's where she was at. So Marquez then says, oh, should he rub her feet? She's like, huh? The way she looked at him, no. I was like, oh, awkward. Marquez, even if you're trying to date someone like Melody, is that how you start off the conversation? She's an accomplished woman. So she talks about her feet hurting and now you're like, oh, let me rub your feet. No, sir. Maybe you would have had better luck asking her to get her a seat for her to sit down or something. Or be like, oh, let's pop up to this side. Maybe you can rest on the wall. Like something like that. Not out here asking her whether you can rub her feet. What? She's going to just give you her feet at her event for you to be rubbing. It's just like, what are you doing, sir? So weird. So Marsau says he's so sweet. And then he's looking at Marsau like, what do you mean? And I'm just thinking, so the man just said you're sweet. Why are you projected? It's given, maybe people have said that you are fruity. And once he said sweet, you took it the wrong way. I don't think he was mean to insinuate anything. I think you took it too far. So Marsau is like, yeah, he's sweet and caring. And so he's like, yeah, I'm caring. I'm like, well, okay, you're a sweet boy and that should be okay. I don't know why people take that as an offense. Like, ain't nothing wrong with being a sweet boy. Marsau jumps in. When I say Marsau understood the assignment, Marsau understood the assignment, okay? He was like, I'm going to stand on business, okay? So he was like, Marquez was trying to holler at you, okay? And had you blushing at Trisha's event. Mel had a straight face. She's like, now what? Blushing? Like, she was just looking confused. And you know what's funny? So when they did the playback, Melody was not blushing, guys. Melody just looks like, let me just smile because this is uncomfortable. I don't know why this man is trying to hit on me. Like, please. And Nell was there saying, oh, she's blushing, girl. Does that look like someone that is blushing? And as a friend, shouldn't you know that? It was just giving weird. Like, she's like, oh, you're blushing. She was proper shouting as well. I'm like, no, you're the one that is blushing about this whole thing. She ain't blushing. She just looks like, she had that awkward smile. Like, what is going on? That is far from blushing. Let me know what you guys think. Did you actually think she was blushing? Let me know in the comment section below. So Melody just looks confused, like, me attracted to Marquez. Like, what are we saying? So Marquez is like, Marquez is trying to clean it up, talking about that ain't what happened. What had happened was he was just trying to clean it up and say, oh, well, I didn't say that Mel was attracted to me. And then he completely shifts gears like he wasn't trying to hit on Mel to make it into something differently. So Mel was like, isn't he married? Marsau then said he's still married but identifies as single. So Mel was like, well, he took a note out of your book. I'm like, oops, not a stray. Not Marsau catching a stray. I was absolutely here for it. It was funny to me. Melody basically said that she doesn't know why Marsau would think that she would be interested in anyone in this group, let alone Marquez, who is still married. And I'm like, yep. Marquez then said, oh, that's not a problem. It's handled. I'm like, no, it isn't handled because you guys are still not divorced according to this YouTube streets. So it has not been handled, okay? Marquez then changes his tune completely and then goes on to say he would like to see how he can add value to her life, even if it's not in a romantic way, but like a friendship. Mel was like, okay, well, send a proposal to my team and email it over to them and then we can start from there. I'm like, okay. She is like, I do not have any dealings with you. I do not want to have any direct dealings with you before you guys now say, oh, we're hanging out, we're in a relationship. Send it over to my team. Send it to my people. My people will sort it out. Okay? I was absolutely here for it. I feel like Marquez has audacity, and that's what some of these men have. It's like you have so much audacity. You see someone like Melody, and you think she'll be interested in you? You, Marquez. Oh, wow. I feel like this is why they always say that men go for jobs that they're not qualified for. Because as a woman, most times, before we apply for something, we want to make sure we can do most of it. But these men be out here applying for jobs they're not qualified for, talking to women that they can't even be in the same rooms with. It's like, what? The audacity. This is something that I feel like women, we should learn. We need a bit more audacity because these men be having so much of it. Marsau also cracks me up when he used the opportunities to say there's a lot of Mars soldiers in there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And there not a lot of Marquezes. I'm like, what are you saying, Marsau? I think Marsau was trying to insinuate that all of the mellometers that were there, they are not like against him or anything, that, you know, they're riding for him and stuff, and he thinks he can convert mellometers to Mars soldiers. I'm like, you ain't converting nobody. Nobody wants to move from being a mellometer to a Mars soldier, sir. Cut it out. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell button so you know every single time that I post. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.